Welcome back, another episode. We hardly knew you, New Eden. Goodbye. Even though it was fantastic to have some scenes outside and alter the atmosphere, this is still a program about people riding trains. We'll probably spend the most of this last season of Snowpiercer indoors by the end of this week. Fortunately, this episode provides a reasonable justification for the choice to leave New Eden behind. As sound as anything involving our favorite irascible ex-police officer, ex-revolutionary leader, ex-mayor, and ex-pirate rebel can be, that is. Layton decides he needs to take Big Alice and go hunt for the kidnappers as soon as he learns that Dr. Hedwood had time to plan the kidnapping of Liana, his daughter, and that she had even taken her husband's shoes, which she had kept behind glass for an unknown reason. Of course, it's not as simple as it sounds to just take the train. After all, the engine is what is keeping the people of New Eden alive, and it took months to transform it into a power source for the entire village. However, it makes no difference to Layton, who goes completely insane in this episode, snapping at all of his closest comrades and friends. He belittles Oz for requiring assistance and for forcing Zara to go to him high on the mountain, where she perished. He snaps at Josie for not encouraging him to go rogue and suggests she would be more concerned if her own daughter had been abducted. Ruth accuses Layton of making fun of the very system he established when the council gathers to debate the possibility of splitting Big Alice, but he doesn't seem to care. He ignores the notion that they won't be able to heat the town without the engine. Ruth informs Layton the days of hijacking trains are over at precisely the same moment that he attempts to take over the train. Layton makes Javi assist him by disconnecting the train. And happily, there is enough electricity to keep New Eden running for 3 weeks while Big Alice leaves to pursue Liana. However, Sykes, Ruth, and Josie confront the two just before they can depart, with the former pounding Layton until he agrees to a vote by the entire community to let him go. Arguably the biggest surprise of the entire season thus far, Layton chooses to speak to the crowd as a father rather than as a rebel leader or even a councilman. Therefore, he does not provide a grand inspirational speech. All he wants is to defend his daughter in the same manner that he did for the residents of Snowpiercer, and, more recently, New Eden. Layton, predictably, gets the engine. Furthermore, he doesn't travel alone because almost every other main character chooses to assist him, including the majority of the tailies. Among them is Alex, who does some tests on a bird and concludes that the heat pocket is experiencing some sort of problem. It might not even be a pocket at all, but rather a bubble that is about to explode. Mr. Roch appears to be the lone outlier, staying behind with Oz and Javi. Now, the race is on to catch up with Snowpiercer before New Eden perishes and the 3 weeks are over. After allowing Audrey to leave in the last episode, Ben and Bess are taken prisoner back at Snowpiercer and made to work as slaves. That is, until Ben gets assigned a unique mission by the Admiral. It turns out that Ben is qualified to perform the task that one of the Admiral's men perished from electrocution while performing it. Ben agrees to work 10 hours a day, but the Admiral pledges to lower his shift back to a more comfortable 12, provided he goes to the agricultural car and reroutes an electrical panel and the ventilation. Dr. Nima brought over some new fertilizer, which they are supposed to utilize to boost food production because, presumably, the workers, that is, the Snowpiercer residents, keep dropping like flies. Things look odd when Ben and Bess head to the farm car. They discover, among other things, that control panels have been torn out, new panels have been put somewhere, and a pipe that was absent earlier leads to the subtrain. Till starts to suspect that the substance may be cyanide after discovering gas masks and fertilizer in some canisters. However, the Admiral doesn't appear to be the kind to just put people to death, especially if they may help him with his ambitious goal. Although the dying soldier had chemical burns rather than electrical ones, there is a chemical element present here, but it is not poison. In an attempt to sacrifice herself and take the Admiral with her, Bess baits the Admiral inside the automobile and turns on the gas, proving her assumption. However, she awakens in prison later. It turns out that the gas was a tranquilizer rather than a toxin or fertilizer. The workmen advance the entire plan as the two work things out. The tranquilizer is in the rear of the car, ready for an ambush when Big Alice comes, not to punish the people of Snowpiercer. The Admiral is getting ready for combat. For more videos, subscribe.